My YouTube team gave me a mission impossible. They asked me to make a video to show you what I would do if I had to win a client in the next 24 hours.
Why don't you try a bit of a mission impossible? So what about you absolutely had to get a client in 24 hours? What the hell would you do?
Man, there's loads you could do.
Show me.
Thing is, I don't actually believe there's anything impossible about it. Anyone can go and do this, but most people won't because it requires massive action, focus, and resilience. So here are the exact steps I'd take and have taken for my business in the exact order that I'd take them to win a client in the next 24 hours. But first, a little bit on mindset, discipline, and action. Most people shy away from active lead gen and creating sales opportunities. They actually shy away from sales as a whole. This leads to slower growth and a vicious cycle of lacking self-belief. Because you've not got enough clients and because you lack that self-belief, you don't actively go out to win that next client. And so the cycle continues. So if I had to win a client in the next 24 hours, I'd know that I have to lay some foundations first. Firstly, I'd commit to action, big action, because we all know that action moves the needle. And even if I get a load of no's, and with this action I know that I will, at least I'm doing something. Doing nothing will always mean nothing. So doing something is always the better option. So by big action, I mean that I will commit to exhausting as many avenues as I need to hunt down that yes. I'm going to get my head down, I'm going to get it done. Number 2, I detach from the outcome. Even though the ultimate goal is to win a client, I'm still going to detach myself emotionally from the things that are about to happen. I'd simply commit to the action that I know works, because it has before, and then I'd get started. If I overthink, it'll slow me down and it'll hold me back. So I need to remove that emotion and just do what needs to be done. And lots of sales coaches will say the same thing, detach from the emotion, which is hard because we're all emotionally attached to our businesses, whether we like to admit it or not. But the more opportunities you have in the pipeline, the less you'll emotionally value each one. So I'd go out and take massive action by creating loads of those conversations. Number 3, I'd remove all distractions and non-essential tasks. Winning a client takes time, energy, and effort. So to give myself the best chance possible, I'd clear the decks. I'd look at my calendar, and I still do this regularly, but I'd look at it and I would cancel or reschedule anything that doesn't fit in with the main goal. Obviously, delivery to existing clients and family time would stay, but other than that, I will reschedule any non-sales meetings, and I wouldn't waste time doing any admin or long business strategy style work. This is all about creating the time and the headspace to get the job done. I'd also turn off the notifications on my phone and on my laptop so I'm 100% focused. Then, once I got my head in the game, here are the exact steps that I would take to win my next client fast. First off, I'd talk to everyone. This is the first step because it's the biggest, because it's the most effective, and because every single step that comes after this can be tied back to it. So the first thing I'd do is make a list of everywhere I have contacts, or even have the potential to talk about what I'm offering. And Alex Hormozy made a video about this recently, but for me, this means contacts in my phone. Could be family, friends, friends of friends, ex-clients, ex-colleagues, anyone I could get in touch with to have an early stage conversation. And I'll cover the approach to these conversations a little bit later. I'd also scroll through all my email contacts, both in my personal email and in my business email as well. Then, you guessed it, social media connections. Who do we know? Who are we connected to? Get them down on a list and get ready to attack that list. One thing Hormozy didn't mention in his video was face-to-face interactions. So even if it's another parent from my child's school, or an old friend that I bump into doing the food shop, someone at the gym, or even someone I bump into on the morning dog walk, face-to-face needs to be included here. And even at this early stage, I'd already be feeling a lot better about the potential chance of success. There's so much potential on everyone's contact list, and no one leverages it as much as they should. Now I've got these lists, I'd start to categorize and prioritize them. And the place I would start is my phone. Because when someone's given me their number, chances are, hopefully, they like and they trust me. More than just someone who follows me on Instagram, for example. So I'd scroll through all my contacts and I would ring them. I'd ring as many people as I possibly could. And I don't mean text, I mean ring. Because having a one-to-one conversation with someone over the phone means more human connection and more focused attention from the person that I'm speaking to. I'm more likely to get live and direct feedback on what I'm offering, and it gives me the opportunity to ask more questions based on the information and the answers that I get. And this is what I mean by most people don't take action. This stuff can be scary, especially if you're calling people out of the blue after you've not spoke to them for 10 years. But you don't have to call them with a hard sell. I just start off with building some rapport, actually saying hello, listening to what they've been up to, what's happening in life now. You know, there may be something that they can help you with. Then when the time feels right, I would transition into the business chat. But like I said before, it doesn't have to be a sales pitch. I'd just say something like, I'm working on this new project or new thing for my business. I would love to get some feedback from you if possible. Then when they say yes, and most people will, you describe the offer, describe the problems it solves, and describe the outcome it's going to give your clients. Then I would just straight up ask them if they knew anyone who might be interested or who might be a good fit. I'm not asking them if they want to buy from me, I'm just asking them if they'd be interested. Because this is a lot easier than just pitching someone without even knowing if your offer's for them or not. And one of three things is going to come out of that conversation. One, they'll say no, they don't know anyone that you could help. In which case, I'd ask them to send anyone that they think might be relevant my way in the future. And this is the worst case scenario, by the way, and it's not even that bad. If nothing else, I've had a conversation with someone I wouldn't have otherwise had one with. Number two, they say they know someone who might like to know more or who might be interested, and then I can ask for that introduction. This is a major result because that warm intro is so much warmer and so much more powerful than just speaking to someone across social. And number three, the best kind of scenario, they say that they might be interested themselves. At which point I can transition into discovery mode to find out more about the current situation, more about where they want to get to, what's stopping them getting there, and find out if it's worth discussing next steps on how we can work together. So after my phone calls, I will move straight to the social and the email contacts. And here's the order in which I will do it. First of all, I will go to my past clients. Anyone I've worked with at all in the past would get an email or a DM. Mainly to find out where they're at with their business and see if I can help them now. But I'd also ask them the same questions I asked my phone contacts. Do they know anyone that might benefit from this? Then I'd scroll through all my email contacts and message anyone that might be a tiny bit relevant. Remember, we might not be selling to people directly here. They may just refer us. Next up, I'd revisit my pipeline. Are there any leads that I thought were dead a few months ago that I might be able to reignite? Is there anyone I'd had a previous sales conversation with who wasn't ready then, but might be ready to buy now? If they didn't buy back then, why didn't they buy? And can I incentivize them to buy now with some sort of time-sensitive bonus? Again, regardless of whether these people end up becoming leads or not, I'd still be asking for that referral. Do they know anyone that's interested? Asking for referrals and asking for introductions casts the net of potential a lot wider. And it also helps you capitalize on every single opportunity. After I'd scoured the pipeline, after I'd spoken to those past leads and determined if there were any opportunities, I'd go and hunt for some influencers. So influencers or introducers in my network. We all know someone who's insanely well connected, and now it's time to leverage that. So I'd ask myself, who do I know that runs a free or a paid community that's closely linked to what I do? Is there some value that I could potentially offer to that community to position myself as an expert? Or is there some kind of kickback or affiliate payment that I could make to someone who might be able to introduce me to a wider audience? An audience of people that don't know who I am. Or could I do some cross promotion with someone where they promote me and I promote them? And that works particularly well with people that have the same or similar audience to me, but don't offer the same service. And I wouldn't waste time beating around the bush here. I'd be direct, ask for exactly what I want, offer the incentive that I think is best, and then I would move on to the next action. The next thing I do is create some really direct, what I call hand raise content. Here's an example of the post that I mean. I'd call out my target audience, say I've got limited spaces available, and I would describe the desired outcome, the thing that they want the most. Then I would describe a frustration or challenge that they associate with it and say we can help you achieve it without that frustration, without that challenge. Then I'd give them a timeline or how quickly we can start, and I'd tell them exactly what to do. Either book a call on this link or drop me a DM with a specific word. This removes any guesswork and helps people know exactly what they need to do if they think it's for them. The next thing I'd do is email my email list. Similar to the hand raise post, I'd write a series of emails that focus in on the opportunity and the outcomes. I'd give my audience a really clear call to action and then a deadline to buy or book a call. I'd also send a more personalized message to anyone that had recently downloaded one of my lead magnets. I'd ask them how they found it, what value they got out of it, what they're trying to do now, and is there potential to support them with anything further. After my emails, I'd head straight to the DMs and message anyone that had displayed any interest in me. Let's take LinkedIn as an example. I'll be messaging every new connection and every new follower. Anyone who's liked or commented or shared or engaged in any way with my content. Profile views are an interesting one too. But you can see there's probably quite a bit of ammo there. There's probably quite a big audience to go at. The key is though, don't just pitch people straight out the bat. Just start conversations with them. Even if they don't turn into trees now, we're still planting seeds. And I'm not kidding myself, I know that every person I go out there and speak to, everyone I phone, email, message, bump into in the street, it's not an ideal client. I know that every single person I message and email isn't going to respond, but some people will. And that's a lot more people than if I hadn't taken any action at all. And you'll be surprised how connected people in your network actually are. It's not that hard to get referrals. So the best case scenario is I come out of this 24-hour period with a few sales, but even the worst case is me communicating my offer to a ton of people, warming up some leads into potential clients that might convert, and reconnecting with people that I've not spoken to in a while. What's not to love about that? I hope you found this video helpful. I'm actually going to undertake this challenge in a few weeks' time, and I'm going to film it as well. But in the meantime, if you want to find out more about how we help people win clients on Instagram, on LinkedIn, without complicated ads or funnels, just purely organic, then you can click this video here where we go into a bit more detail. That's it for this video. I'll see you in this one next.